Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Big Donch Show. Today, we're going to be recapping week 3 of the NFL season. Just a reminder to subscribe to my YouTube, Big Donch, and to follow me on TikTok and Instagram, also called Big Donch. Let's get right into it. So, what a weird week this was, okay? Week 3 was a weird week. Listen, we saw Dolphins put up 70 points. That's embarrassing. I mean, not embarrassing for Dolphins, embarrassing for the Broncos. Unbelievable. We saw, the Cardinals upset the Cowboys. We saw the Steelers offense finally, show something. It was a weird week, let me tell you. Let's start with Thursday, September 21st. San Francisco 49ers defeated the New York Giants 30-12. Let me just tell you right now, the 49ers, I believe, are the best team in the NFL. They move on to 3-0. They beat the Steelers pretty bad. Okay. They beat the Giants pretty bad. Who did they beat last week? I can't even think who they beat last week, but they beat them. Okay. And I think it was the Rams. Brock Purdy, 310 yards, 2 touchdowns. Daniel Jones, 137 yards, 1 interception. Daniel Jones has a lot of potential, and I feel like he could be so good if he's on a team that actually cared about him, an organization that cared and built around him. He's fighting for his life out there every single play. I don't really put this blame on Daniel Jones. Bad offensive line. He's not throwing anybody, right? Daniel Waller's supposed to be a star tight end. He dropped a couple passes. That's not good. That's not good. Christian McCaffrey, it's not far to say. Okay, well, it's not too far to say. Listen, offensive player of the year, potential MVP at 85 yards and a touchdown. Okay, receiving, the leading receiver for 49ers with 129 yards and a touchdown, Deebo Samuel. And this is what I'm talking about with the Giants, okay? Saquon Barkley out, unfortunate. Matt Breida had 17 yards with a touchdown. Darius Slayton only had 32 yards off 3 receptions. That was that leading receiver for the Giants. That's embarrassing. Let's take a look at the team stats for the Giants. 49ers, quick, had 441 total yards. Giants had 150. You can't be doing that. Okay, you can't be doing that. Only 10 first downs by the Giants. 49ers had 36. Okay, third down efficiency, 3 for 12 for the Giants. Bad. They only allowed 2 sacks. But either way, Daniel Jones having a rush for his life every time, though. Because the major reason why he doesn't get sacked compared to other quarterbacks is, well, he's mobile. He's very mobile. They punted 6 times, the Giants did. It's embarrassing, okay? It's unfortunate for the Giants. They're supposed to have a solid team, and they can't. They can't. Let's talk about the Sunday games now. Indianapolis Colts, 22. Baltimore Ravens, 19. In overtime, Gardner Minshew leading the way after Anthony Richardson was out. Love Gardner Minshew. I know he could be it. I know he could be a star. Not a star, but I know he could be a solid quarterback. It's hard for teams around the league to get him. I mean, I feel like he'd be a good quarterback on the Jets, the Falcons, right? But, he did his job. That's all you could ask for. Zach Moss, the leading rusher, 122 yards. Michael Pittman, leading receiver, 77 yards on the Ravens. Lamar Jackson, 202 yards passing, but no touchdowns. But he did on the ground have 101 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. So we saw a little prime Lamar Jackson action there. Zay Flowers, leading receiver for them, 48 yards. Odell Beckham Jr., I mean, I've been saying that he was just a waste. I mean, he didn't even get any action. I mean, he's been quiet all season. They paid him close to $20 million. I knew it. I was telling you. It's on Instagram all over saying it was a waste. People call me crazy. People calling me a hater. It ain't a hater. OBJ is a talented wide receiver. Just keeping it real. Alrighty. Also, if you notice, I'm wearing a Steelers hat. Why? Steelers won. But I'm also wearing a Notre Dame shirt. Tough loss for us, hey, but we got to keep pushing. We still have a chance to make playoffs. We got to beat USC. We play Duke this week. Got to beat them too. But either way, every time the Steelers win, you're going to see me wearing the hat. But Cleveland Browns, 27. Titans, 3. Titans, everybody on that offense besides Henry and Hopkins are below average. All right. We knew that. Defense is pretty bad. It's just weird. Like, the Titans are just a mediocre team. They have been for the past 3 years. 3 to 4 years, ever since Vrabel and Tannehill, that era. They've just been average. Okay, they make playoffs. They don't do much, right? There's an average team. This year, they're below average. Derrick Henry has to get out of there. He has to use up as much of his prime as he could. Using it in Tennessee, not the way to go. Browns are solid, though. They still get it going. No Nick Chubb. They still get 27 points. But they're solid, though. Let's take a look at their leading rushers who filled in for Nick Chubb. I know it was Jerome Ford, but let's see their leading rusher for the Browns. Pierre Strong had 27. Also, rushing wasn't actually that good. Deshaun Watson did throw for 2 touchdowns, but Jerome Ford did have a touchdown, but only 18 yards off 10 carries. So not really good rushing, but they still got the job done. Detroit Lions 20, Atlanta Falcons 6. Lions showing they could be a tough playoff team. Falcons had a pretty solid start, showing that they could do it. Tough loss, though, against them at home, right? The Lions are back in it, though. They lost last week, but trust me, I'm rooting for the Lions on the NFC side. I think they could be solid. They could be definitely solid. They got to pick it up, though. They still got missing pieces. They'll be all right, though. They'll be all right. This is the year for them. Green Bay Packers 18, Saints 17. Carr injured, shoulder injury, but we saw with the Packers, right? I mean, I still feel like the Saints can still win the NFC South. Not saying much. It's a pretty bad division, but I still see that happening, especially with the Bucks losing, and I feel like they weren't going to last long. We'll get to that, though. But if we take a look at the stats from the Saints game, Jordan Love is playing some solid football, okay? He had 259 yards, a touchdown, and an interception, but on the ground, he had 39 yards rushing and a touchdown. So he's playing some solid football. Romeo Doubs was their leading receiver, 73 yards and a touchdown. Derek Carr only had 103 yards and a touchdown. Chris Olave was their leading receiver with 104 yards. Okay, but Packers and Jordan Love, they're playing good. Both teams are now 2-1. Okay, but I don't think the Packers make playoffs, but Jordan Love is showing that he could be their franchise quarterback. Houston Texans 37, Jaguars 17. Shocker here, right? In Jacksonville. Texans, a bad team. They're still rebuilding. I wasn't expecting them to get more than 5 wins this year, more than 6 wins this year. They go into Jacksonville and beat them by 20. That's embarrassing for the Jaguars. It's pretty embarrassing. You got to do better than that, right? They had a pretty disappointing week last week against the Chiefs. Right, it's the Chiefs, but they played pretty bad last week, and they played bad this week. Trevor Lawrence not doing so good, 279 yards, a touchdown, interception. Travis Etienne with 88 yards, and Evan Ingram with 67 yards. And Evan Ingram, I'm confused with him and Darren Waller. I have them both on my fantasy team. I don't know who to start. I know Evan Ingram gets more receptions, more targets, but, Waller's always projected more, so it's hard. It's hard. But look at the Texans now, 280 yards and 2 touchdowns by C.J. Stroud. He's making a case for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Devin Singletary, 41 yards, 9 off of 9 carries. Tank Dell, 5 receptions, 145 yards, and a touchdown. Okay, Texans move on to 1-2. So are the Jaguars. Jaguars got to make a case because they could win the AFC South. They can't be losing to the Texans like that. They cannot be losing to the Texans at all, let alone by 20. Miami Dolphins 70, Denver Broncos 20. Let me just tell you, embarrassing by the Broncos. That's just crazy. That is just crazy. 70 points. Very impressive by the Broncos. Very impressive by the Dolphins. Everybody on that team is fast, explosive, but it's embarrassing for the Broncos. If anybody's going to get 70 points scored on them, I wouldn't think it was the Broncos, right? You'd think it's, I don't even know, the Commanders, the Falcons, the Panthers, just a worse team than that. The Broncos, led by Russell Wilson, a solid offense, solid defense, Sean Payton, Super Bowl winning coach, future Hall of Famer. That brings up the question, though. Is Sean Payton overrated? Should he even have came back? A lot of people saying, well, Drew Brees carried him throughout the years. I don't know when to say all that. You think he come back to the Broncos, big problems last year. They really needed that head coach. Sean Payton, a leader, comes in. And they've been playing terrible. 70 points. You allow 70 points. Dolphins are good, yes. But 70 points? Unbelievable. Those Dolphins are good. Excuse me. Those Dolphins are good. Tua threw 4 touchdowns. Devon Kane. Apparently, he doesn't want his name pronounced wrong. I'm sorry. I think it's Kane. 203 yards, 2 touchdowns. Impressive by the rookie Raheem Mostert, 82 yards and 3 touchdowns. Hill had a touchdown. Chosen Anderson had a touchdown. Raheem Mostert had 4 total touchdowns. He had a receiving touchdown. And Devon O'Kane had 4 total touchdowns. 2 of them coming from receiving. Unbelievable, that offense. Unbelievable. Russell Wilson, no, it's not his fault. He threw for 303 yards or over 300 yards and a touchdown. That's just bad. That's bad. Defense can't be doing that. Defense, that's all Broncos defense. Either way, that's embarrassing. That is really embarrassing. Dolphins are solid. They're fun. They're exciting. Tua, I said last year that he was in the hot seat. He needed to prove that. He's playing very good. I think he secured his job. Chargers, 28. Vikings, 24. Vikings are better than the record. Let me just tell you, they're 0-3. Kirk Cousins is playing phenomenal football. Justin Jefferson playing phenomenal football. Madison's playing pretty good. Okay. Vikings, though, they're better than their record. They have a tough start to the season. Lost to the Bucks. Then they face the Eagles on the road that plays the Chargers. It's tough. I think they'll get the win this week. I think they're playing the Panthers, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they're playing the Panthers in Carolina, but I still feel like they'll get the win. We take a look at those stats. Keenan Allen, though, reception machine. Unfortunate, though, with Mike Williams. I can't find here we go. The stats right here. So, yeah, Justin Herbert threw for 405 yards, 3 touchdowns. Their leading rusher was Joshua Kelly, only 12 yards off 11 carries. But Keenan Allen, 215 yards off 18 receptions. He's looking like a top 5 receiver again. He's getting back to that. He was dealing with injuries last year. I would know. I had him on my fantasy. He had a lot of hamstring injuries. But Kirk Cousins, 367 yards, 3 touchdowns, and interception. I'm telling you, him and the Vikings are playing way better than their record. Alexander Madison had 93 yards. Justin Jefferson playing amazing. 7 receptions, 149 yards, and a touchdown. He's the best receiver in the league. Hands down. Justin Jefferson, hands down. But Vikings got to do something, or he's going to win out pretty soon. Patriots 15, New York Jets 10. News today. Groundbreaking, league-breaking news. Jets get Trevor Siemian. I don't know what that's going to do, right? I mean, he's not going to do anything for them. Zach Wilson playing some bad football. Offense playing bad football. Jets just got unlucky. Aaron Rodgers comes in there, supposed to be a solid playoff team. Make a case to win the AFC North, or I'm saying AFC East. Things went downhill fast. Let me tell you, fast. Buffalo Bills, 37. Commanders, 3. I knew Commanders were going to be like that. They had a good start. Sam Howell, not like that. But Josh Allen, we know who he is. He turns the ball over too much, though. He had 218 yards, touchdown, interception. Sam Howell, though, 170 yards, 4 interceptions. Let me tell you again, last year, I was saying, I don't think Sam Howell was a future for the Commanders. Come on now. Played good against the Cowboys last game of the year. Cowboys were already focused on the playoffs. They didn't care about a regular season game like the Commanders. I don't think Sam Howell is the answer. I see him. I see a new quarterback under center for the Commanders in at least 2 years and get treated as the actual franchise quarterback. Seahawks 37, Panthers 27. Not much else to say there. That's expected. Cardinals 28, Dallas Cowboys 16. Hilarious. Dak needs to play better through that interception in the end zone at the end of the game. Embarrassing. Cardinals are weird though, because like they're putting up fights. They're putting up fights every single week. Like you don't know, are they tanking or are they actually trying to be legit and just waiting for Murray to come back? Joshua Dobbs playing good. Former Steeler, proud of him. 189 yards and a touchdown. James Conner, former Steeler. This was tough. I hate to see James Conner go. 98 yards and a touchdown. I always defend it. James Conner. Michael Wilson was their leading receiver. 86 yards receiving. But on the offense, Dak Prescott, 249 yards, a touchdown, interception. That's embarrassing. I played better. Tony Pollard, 122 yards. And then Michael Gallup, 92 yards receiving. Let's see who got a receiving touchdown for the. Oh, yeah. Marquise Brown had a receiving touchdown for the Browns. Or the Cardinals, sorry. Kansas City Chiefs, 41. Chicago Bears, 10. Bears are just a bad franchise over the past 20 years. Oh, well, no. They've been in the Super Bowl mid-2000s. Past 15 years. Okay, they're just a bad organization. Justin Fields, too. He's not the guy. I'm sorry. 99 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Not even 100 passing yards. Had 47 yards rushing. DJ Moore had 3 receptions, 41 yards, and a touchdown. Patrick Mahomes playing insane, like always. 272 yards, 3 touchdowns. Isaiah Pacheco, 62 yards and a touchdown. Travis Kelce. Big news now with Taylor Swift. Oh, yeah. It's crazy how much the media posts them. Taylor Swift. Jeez, let it go. Make a couple posts, that's it. Apparently, I think Travis Kelce's jersey sales went up like 400%, I'm pretty sure it was. That's pretty crazy. He had 7 receptions, 69 yards, and a touchdown. Bears moving 0-3, like I said, bad franchise. Chiefs 2-1. They better not. They better not be another Super Bowl team. I'm telling you. I'm sick of the Chiefs. Moving on to my Pittsburgh Steelers, 23. Raiders, 18. Offense played great. I'm very, very happy. Can we stay consistent, though? Kenny Pickett played good. Receivers played good. Najee, a little better than the past 2 games. Offensive line, a little shaky. Played good. Our defense, though, I think the Steelers' defense is the top 3 defense in the league. With all those takeaways we have, TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith coming off the edge. TJ Watt leads the league in sacks. Okay, he has a fumble to his name, strip sacks, a bunch of it. TJ Watt making a case for defensive play of the year. Steelers top 3 defense, like I just said. We could be all right. I personally think The Steelers could go 4-1. Bye-bye. All right. They have the Texans and the Ravens before the bye. We definitely could beat the Texans, and we definitely could beat the Ravens. We could go 4-1 going into the bye. That would be huge. Let me just say also, terrible roughing the passing call on Minka Fitzpatrick hit to Jimmy G. Shoulder pad first, not helmet first. It was a shoulder pad first. That was weak. That was terrible. That was terrible. Minka Fitzpatrick should have had a sack. And Jimmy G's an interception machine. 3 interceptions to one of them at the end of the game. Terrible. 2 of them are actually terrible interceptions. You just toss them up. It's embarrassing, Raiders. You're a better team than that. Jimmy G, I want to root for you. Interception machine. Devontae Adams, though. He cooked us. He cooked us. He's good. There's no doubting that. Monday games now. I didn't catch the Eagles and Buccaneers game, but Eagles won 25-11. I knew the Bucs weren't going to last. Eagles, same old teams last year. Good. You know, you got to play better against them. But I knew the Buccaneers weren't going to last. Cincinnati Bengals, 19. Los Angeles Rams, 16. Okay, both teams, they need to get something going. Okay, they're 2 teams who would be solid. And it was a pretty slow game last night. A lot of field goals. They have to get something going. Matt Stafford needs to get something going. Offensive line, though, is pretty bad. Cooper Kupp comes back. I think they'll be all right. But I don't know. They gotta make it better. Hold on. Also, I was reading something wrong too. I kept saying like at Jacksonville and stuff like that. Actually, no. I think I was right. Never mind. The way I have it on my list when I read the scores off, I have the winners first, not really necessarily the home teams. So I gotta do that better next time. Either way. So if I was saying like at, let's say Minnesota, or for example, I could be wrong, right? The home and aways, I mixed that up a bit. I'll get that better next week. But that's all I really have though for week 3. Smooth, pretty episode. I was pretty happy with that. Let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna chop this up, get some shorts, post them later tonight too. Get some, traffic into my channel. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to my channel, Big Donch. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok, Big Donch. I'm out, guys. Peace.